Pedos. It's a
Bless
good
you.
day. It's a good day. I can feel it.
It's a good day to be alive.
Hoka hey, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're waiting on Twitch, but we'll just let them come in later. Todd Medina, Soulgy Network, Soul Speaks 5D. Today's November the 3rd. Welcome on the live and on the replay. We got a beautiful, beloved sister in the house. This is going to be a very exciting hour and a half. We're just going to see how long it goes. Remember to keep your head straight, stay in your own lane, and remember the best thing you can do for yourself, others, and the collective is to keep expanding, keep taking everything inside. Don't project anything externally. Don't blame anything. Don't make excuses, and don't lie to yourself. We're going to come right back after the intro and get to know this beautiful soul in front of us. We got a great show ahead of us, so stay tuned. What's happening, everybody? We got Dr. Maria Michael in the house, and I'm going to let her fill you in on the details. But before we get started, at her request, and I absolutely agree with her and align with her, resonate with her. I can feel a kindred soul when I know one. She's going to lead us in a prayer. It's a special day, and I think we can pull all of our energetic resources together in community and allow her to lead us.
So we would like to greet you and say, Wopulatanka, thank you very much for coming on this day to listen to this broadcast with Todd and I. We feel incredibly blessed to be here. Ya'ate from the Dene and Washte from the Lakota. We're a Lakota Dene spiritual leader, and we are blessed that creation gave us this day to be awake and to wake up, so that the energy of this planet can shift from a paradigm of power and greed to one of peace and prayer and love. And we'd like to start with a prayer because that's always in our heart. Tunkashila, grandfathers, Unshi, grandmother, Unshi Maka, grandmother earth, Mini Wichoni, sacred water, all the creepy crawlers, all the ones that swim in the water, all the four-leggeds, all the winged ones, all the standstill nation, the plant nations, all the Tonka Ayate, the stone nations, all the Petawaka, the sacred fire, and all the altars and the sacred fire that burns within us. We say, Wopulatanka, thank you for giving us this new day of life. There is so much happening on our planet, Tonkashila Unshi, all over the world. Many of the standstill people all over the world have been sacrificing their lives to help us wake us up to climate change, to help us wake us up to taking care of Unshi Maka, Grandmother Earth, in a better way. We say on this day, special prayers to keep everyone safe who is at the polling places, to keep everyone safe who has been working so hard to try to change this paradigm from one of power and greed to one of peace and prayer and love. We saw this happen at Standing Rock. We know this is possible. We know us two-leggeds can evolve without war. We can evolve without hatred. We can evolve without hurting each other. We just have to raise our vibrations and work and clear our own energy within ourselves of whatever our issues are that keep us stuck, to be open to creation, to connect with Wakatakma, the great mystery, so that we may be the best essence of who we are and why we came here to this planet. There are so many helpers, and we invite all your helpers, all of you who are listening at this moment and all who will listen in the future, to meet with our ancestors and our helpers. Because at one time we were all indigenous living off the land. And may all our helpers meet together to help raise the vibration of this planet and these galaxies around us. We have so many that are trying to help us. Sometimes us two-leggeds, we can be slow in our change, but we need to change. We need to make sure that we have a place for the next 49 generations. We did not inherit this earth, as Crazy Horse said, from our ancestors. We have inherited from our children, and it is for the children of this planet that we must change, that we must become awake, that we must be the best version of who we can be, and that we must remember that there are those less fortunate. We must remember that there are those who are hurting, there are those who are mentally ill. We pray for all of them that at this day, at this moment, wherever they might be, that you will go to them, Tonkashila Unshi, grandfather, grandmothers, and you will let them be seen. Let someone see them, whether it be a dragonfly, whether it be a human, whether it be a four-legged. Let them know that they are not alone. And for all those who are suffering at this time, for there are many that are suffering, and for all the frontline workers, for all the EMS workers, for all the people who are working the pandemic, we send special blessings to them, and for all those who are ill, that you can help us help them in the best way possible, and that we can help all the people on all the reservations who are also suffering, not only in great poverty, but with the pandemics. Please help open up all the doorways for each and every one of us to be awake, to be kind, to be compassionate, and to be loving. In that level of vibration of peace and prayer and love, that all is possible. We are all divinely guided. Everything is possible, and we are all sent here to this planet to thrive, not survive, but to thrive. So we ask you, Tonkashila, to be with us, to guide our words and our sharing with Todd on this day, and to bless him for the work that he is doing, and to bless him and all his relatives, and Leilani, and everyone who is working on this program, so that we can bring the voice of love and peace and prayer to all the people. Aho, mitakiase. We are all related. Aho.
Oh, and so it is. Dr. Maria Michael is in the house. We have a doctor in the house, and I love that prayer. It pretty much summed everything up, and I especially love the part you say it in a different way. I say I am soul, and what you're saying is, and I'm actually I say this almost every show. I'm trying to formulate the most accurate question for David Icke on the 18th, which is there anything more powerful? Is there anything that we can contribute of a greater influence than our own personal transformation of the universe that lives inside of us, that's connected to everything outside of us? Is there anything that we can do that's more powerful than to handle our own shift? You know, I know there's things out there on the external. We all know that, but I'm asking you as an elder, I'm asking you as a sister, is there anything that we can do? Because, you know, that gets so complicated out there with ascension and with past life memories and future life progressions and galactics and angelics and elementals, ancestors. We are that. We are the composition of all of that. And I'm asking you, beloved sister, is there anything that we can contribute more than our own internal transformation?
Well, I think our own personal transformation, you know, there is a fifth chamber to the heart that's not yet been discovered. It's the heart mind. It's from this place of the heart that all change happens. And we have to really be willing to look deeply at ourselves, deeply at our biases, at our privilege, and all the ways that we are in this world, and all the stories that we have told ourselves, and all the stories we have swallowed, and working through that. Each one of us is like a stone thrown in the water. And when we work on that stone and help create it, imagine being a stone that comes to this planet, and we're given a chisel one by one with each experience, with each life interaction, with each human we meet. We chisel another facet, and all the facets may not be perfect, but by the end of our lives, it becomes a jewel, and it directs the light in many ways. So we as a stone can be placed in the water, and in that water, there are lily pads. And everything we do, every thought that we have, every heartbeat that we have, every song that we sing, everything that we talk in the we because it reminds us that we are never alone. We're always connected to spirit. There is no I. The I is this ego, this personality. But we is Todd, and we, our pronouns are we, us, and all. It's we, the whole universe. It's we, all the spirit helpers. All of that comes together all the time in every moment, whether we're aware of it or not. And it's through that place that we can create the changes within ourselves. And then those ripples go out like the stone in the water, out into the world. We are electromagnetic, we are water, and we know that we can change the cells and the molecules of water from Emoto, Matsura Emoto. We know that it's been proven. We can hear the crying of the standstill nation as they've been burning. We can hear the birds singing. We can hear the plants speaking. We can hear the Tonka, the stone nation. They talk, they're alive.
Yes.
And so all of that comes together.
That's right. And I think another thing we're coming to terms with, because the ancestors have guided us, the galactics, our descendants, our ancestors. I mean, the we is much bigger than those of us in physically incarnated on the earth realm.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is one of the things I think that we're starting to really come into as we expand our awareness is that it's all right in front of us. It is the grandfather rocks.
Mm-hmm.
It is the elementals and the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom and the wind,
and the air and the light.
Yes.
And the winds of change.
That's right. We act like we're in some kind of fishbowl of upside down fishbowl in the multiverse, that we're so unique, that we're so different, like the redheaded stepchild. We're not. We are that. We are the composition of all those things that are in your prayer.
Mm-hmm.
The mother, the father, and all things. And we are embodying this. There is nothing that can withstand the transformational energy of even one soul on this earth. And as long as we feel that we're small and we can't make a difference, then that's true. But there's been a Jesus, there's been a Buddha, there's been a Magdalene, there's been a Joan of Arc, there's been many prophetesses, many prophetesses that have been wiped off the pages of history and even wiped off the pages of the sacred text. And also prophets and teachers. We live in a time when there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of enlightened souls that are stepping into their power. And many of them, the majority of them that are leading the way, are in the divine feminine and the female incarnation. They have been hidden. That spirit's been hidden. And it's been hidden in all of us. And maybe that's the fifth chamber you're talking about. Maybe that's the mother goddess right there. Maybe that's the doorway to the mother universe. I was in Utah up on a mountain, and I would go up every day, and I'd talk to these 7 grandfather rocks. Mm. And one day I went up the mountain. This was 3 years ago. And I was feeling my native lineage. I was feeling it in my soul, and I felt the presence of this mountain lion, of a she cat. And I don't know to this day whether it was from my five senses. I know it was in my third eye, and it was the mother. And she put me through a couple days of initiation. On the last day, I stopped to talk to these grandfather rocks. I have pictures of this that would blow your mind. But anyway, I addressed each one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then when I got to the seventh one, I said, he gave me his information because each one of them had a certain message. And then I said, where's the mother? I know she's here. I can feel her. She's fierce. I can feel her energy on me. I've been through 2 days of initiation with her. She's teaching me to be strong. She's teaching me real power. Like I've never felt, from no disrespect to the grandfathers, but this is a different energy. And he opened up a chamber in his heart, and he said, she's right here. And her head popped out. I don't know why I went into that, but I feel a certain I feel a certain congruence with you. And I want you to have the floor and tell us what you want to tell us. I know you have a message today, several messages, but this is a very powerful, special day, and there's no coincidence why you're on here this morning.
Well, we feel blessed to be on here this morning. And later in the day, we will be walking in regalia to support those who are voting and to make sure that the day is peaceful. We would also like to remind everyone that not everyone has the right to vote in this land. There are many indigenous people that don't have the right to vote, that are still not counted. And so we pray that this will create a new opening for all of those people, for the First Nations people, to have the right to vote, to be represented, to be heard, to be seen, and for treaties to be acknowledged. But there are many things to talk about today. One is about Grandmother Earth and what we can do to support her. When we pray, we also often talk about that if we can remember with every step that we take on her back, she has been here for so long, giving us limitless love, food and water and shelter. She has given us all that she could possibly give us. And we often don't thank her. We often take her for granted. We often don't understand that without her, we cannot be alive. And she gives us water, she gives us food, she gives us shelter, she gives us home. And she does it without asking for a thank you. But it is time now for us to, as we walk on her, thank her with gratefulness every moment that we're walking. Thank you for the gifts that she's given us. Thank you for the hard work she's done. And thank you for the cleansing that she's needed to go through and is still going through because of the traumas and the disrespect that the two-leggeds have done for her and done to her. And so we ask in that way on this day. We are a climate activist. We got pushed into that role very young to be a wisdom keeper of Grandmother Earth. But everyone does it in their own way. Not everyone has to be on the front lines like we were at Standing Rock. And not everyone has to do it. We're all part of the same circle of life. We're all a spoke. You can do it in prayer. You can do it in drawings. You can do it just praying from your heart and saying thank you in the morning. So we say, please, please do this every day. Get up with gratitude. Say thank you to creation for allowing us to wake up, to have our eyes open. How many don't get that blessing on the same day that you wake up? Have gratitude at the end of the day for all that you have been given, for all the people who you have talked to, for all the people who have in some way opened up their hearts. Gratitude is something we forget about. We forget how privileged many of us are. And we forget to understand that there is so much abundance if we would only share it. We all bleed the same. We are all one sacred family of living beings. If we could remember that for the Standstill Nation, for the ones that swim in the water, for the creepy crawlers, for all the four-leggeds, if we could remember that we could really create change. We can change the molecules. There are lamas and people we've worked with. You can bend a spoon just from your heart, working with the energy and changing the molten matter into something different. It's very possible. It's all about focus and intention and heart and raising our vibrations. So we wanted to start off speaking about climate change because it is so critical because of what is happening on our planet. And although we have helpers from many other galaxies trying to help us, because some of us are very slow learners, us two-leggeds, in how we have learned to evolve. Sometimes we learn to evolve, we still need war. Sometimes we still need things that really are not necessary. They're really not. It is really all about communication. It's really all about understanding what's the same. We all want the same things for our children. We all want the same things for our planet. There's just this lack that goes around that terrifies people, that there's not enough to share. And there is more than enough to share. There is so much abundance. We've been doing, this is now 7 months that we've been working with the Dene and Hopi reservations, bringing out clothes, getting PPE. They were one of the first reservations to be hit with the pandemic. And the doctors and nurses at IHS and the police people were dying because they had no PPE. The only thing our government gave were body bags. And so we, like many others, started doing a lot of boots on the ground, underground, to get them supplies and needed food and warm clothes. And now we're right in the middle of weatherization. 30 water totes that are 275 gallons will go out, all by the hands of volunteers. We have a GoFundMe on our website on www.drmariamichael.com. We are working hard because the poverty is so heartbreaking. People who have summer homes, who are going to be living in minus 20. For all of you who have heat today, for all of you who have running water, 40% to 50% on the Dene reservation have no running water and no electricity. And 30% have uranium polluted water because the US government did uranium mining in the 50s and never cleaned it up and still refuses to clean it up. And the Lakota reservations, all the reservations, that's not their land. They were put there like in prison. And we ask that you bless the land that you walk on, because this land at one time was ancestral land. And now we can all be ancestors together if we can honor that. And so climate change is a big piece of our life, a big piece of our action, a big piece of our heart's desire, so that the next 49 generations can have the blessings to drink clean water, to swim in the water, to eat fruit that is healthy, and to learn how to cultivate and work with the land again. So we ask that abundance is here. It's just about sharing. It really is. There's more than enough for all of us. So that is one of the things that we wanted to bring up, that we felt was important for people to really think about on this day, when many people are voting and many people have already voted, when we talk about changing the paradigm from power and greed to one of peace and prayer and love. If all you can do is pray, that's magnificent. That's huge. You have no idea how much that can change the energy on the planet. If everyone prayed at the same time, imagine the energy wave that would go out. It would be breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking.
Yes, yes.
Can't hear you, Todd.
You can't hear me. You can't hear me. No? It must be on your end. Check. I don't know what happened. Test. You can't hear me. So, yeah, I had some comment for that. Yeah, it's on her end. She can't hear me. It's on your end. You're muted. Test. So, yes, this is a prayer is powerful. It is powerful. She'll get it in a minute. She'll get it. Yeah. It is powerful, but what are we praying for? You know, if we're praying from a place
Can't
of,
hear you, Todd.
yeah, I got that. There's no coincidences. They can hear me. They can hear me, but you can't hear me. So it's on your end. Yeah. So it says you're muted. Let me just tell her here. Let me just tell her. Hang on. Let's see. I'm gonna send her a private message.
Okay, I
I
got it. I got
Oh,
it.
you got it. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's get back on this. So I totally agree with you. When I started this thing a few years ago, I used to say, because I had a studio, and I used to say, if we all go outside right now and put our hands in the air and say, but I think this is the point that I've gotten to in 2020 as I've watched the evolution in a small part of this universe, small part of the realm, which is soulogy. We're approaching 2,400 shows on this particular show. I've watched the division and the separation be fed from every side. And I'll be frank with you. I know you don't curse, and I won't curse out of respect for you, but I'm sick and tired of it. We are the point of separation. Each and every one of us is the point of separation. Now, we can't just turn the other cheek because the universe and the earth is requiring something greater from us. And I think that might be that fierceness and fortitude of the mother goddess, of the great mother, because we know that presence has been subjugated.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it hadn't, one of the religious leaders, whether it be the Tibetan Buddhist or the Roman Catholic Church or whatever, would have a female leader.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so we know these things. Now, we're dealing with energy. We know we're energy. We know we're multidimensional. And at the very core of it, what is the last aspect of us that's come into the round table of spirituality to be equally represented and heard is the human hybrid soul. Is this incarnation that has had many, many, many incarnations on the earth and has walked hand in hand with the mother earth in the evolution to get us to this point. It doesn't matter why we're here anymore. It doesn't matter if it's a circumstance or a consequence of something. It doesn't matter if there's a 1% that duped us. It doesn't matter. It's convoluted and contorted and distorted. What matters is, what can we do? And whether we are, whatever our cause is, whatever our mission is, whatever our purposes are, there's one thing that pulls us all together. We are all made of the same goddess substance.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said about Emoto, everything, it's not just the water, it's every single thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing inanimate in this universe. This table, this fan, this computer, this is all the same substance as me. There is no AI. How can there be AI? How can you tell me that there's something that God made, that exists that God didn't make? It still has the same substance. We can work with anything. And I guess where I'm going with this is, I love what you said about the prayer. But I would just remind myself, what am I praying for? Am I praying from a place of superiority, inferiority, division, and separation? Because these programs and these impressions and imprints upon us are deeply embedded with us, and they're so subtle we don't even know it. We don't even realize how deep this stuff goes. And now we're getting there. And now is where we walk the talk. And that's just where I'm with you. Like, people say, well, what can I do? What can you do? Put your hands together.
Oh.
You can do this. This is the power of the imagination, and the thoughts carried forward are the most powerful part of us in this physical integration with the non-physical. We are gods and goddesses in the flesh, and we've come home to make things straight. This is why we're here.
And if we remember that we're connected to everything, and we stop putting labels and boxes that we're this or this and this and this, and as much as we want to support the two-spirit people and the LGBTQ community and this community and this community and this race and that race, if we could just become human beings with no boxes, then there's no separation. If we can remember that this table deserves the same respect, and it's wood, and it came from a living being, and it offered itself to us so that we could have our digital computer on here. Everything comes from creation. Everything is alive. And if we can keep doing that and pray from that place and know that as we are working and helping with people, for example, in the healing work that we do, we're a traditional healer at the Sundance, at our traditional Sundances. We're a traditional leader. We've just been offered some land so that we can start creating sweat lodges and prayers so that they are open to all people, not in just indigenous people, but all people, regardless of whatever boxes they put themselves in. Can we get ourselves out of those boxes? Can we transcend our boxes? Can we transcend our astrology charts? Why must we be limited in any way? We have the ability to step outside of all those constructs and all those mind structs and all those colonizational thinking. We can create new thinking. It's possible. This Creator gave us to use this in a much more creative way in the way that we're doing it. And if we can empty it in many ways so that spirit can come through, not only this, but come through here first and then educate this. Go that way. That would be huge for us.
Wow.
Absolutely huge.
We're lighting this thing up. And I just want to, I don't know why I'm going, this isn't a normal show for me, but I'm loving every minute of it. I want to just say this too, all right? Well, I'm here with my sister, and I mean that in a lot of ways. Be careful who you give your power over to. Be careful what leader you give your power over to, because it doesn't matter if it's the bully around the corner that wants your lunch money, or it's a prime minister or a president or a preacher or a pope. It doesn't matter. They put their socks on just like we do.
They go to the bathroom just like we do.
That's right. They do. That's right. You know, I mean, we are that. We have, you can say whatever you want about the narratives, and we have plenty to pull from, especially when you look at the Aboriginal and the Indigenous, you know, from the Dogon tribe to, you know, it's all over the place. You know, I was telling the doctor, I just got back from Sedona. They talk about it. The Hopi, the Zuni, the Navajo. There was an Apache, great grandson of Geronimo was there. All of this information, we think our history is the history of the earth only. We have star family oral histories being passed down for generation after generation. We all know these things. There's been enough disclosure. We know the Smithsonian has been hiding giant skeletons for over 100 years. We know a lot of this stuff's been suppressed. We know the goddesses were removed from the religion. If you go back before the Sumerians, you will find clear evidence that the goddess was the core of it all. Now, I don't know how this all works, but I know one thing. Made in the image is made in the image. And if you look at some of the text, including the Bible, which I'm not a scholar, it says, let there be light. Well, if there was already light, why would the Creator say, let there be light? This is the womb of the mother. This is the abyss. This is the chaos that comes before creation. This is the dance. This is our task, as I see it, our honor, our function, our reality, our role is to integrate all points of dark and light. And that's not an easy thing. We didn't come into these incarnations with an owner's manual. We came in with what we might call the Akashic history.
Akashic records.
Okay. But The universe is always expanding. What
And
we can,
changing.
that's right. So that Akashic we came in with, it's never going to leave us. What has been added to the equation? Our experience. We're writing the new good book. We're writing the new template and the new blueprint. We're expanding the outer breath of Mother Creation. And we're doing it by having the courage to step into our power. And no matter what, whether it's a mother or a father or a president or a pope, it doesn't matter. We cannot fulfill and realize our potential as long as we're giving our power away. We are the power. We are the power.
And we want to speak to that because in our individual and group work that we do, we talk about that we're a tapestry that's woven over time.
Yeah.
There's a physical, mental, emotion, and spiritual frequency as well as, and when these get out of balance, the physical and the emotional and spiritual, mental, that's when dis-ease or symptomology comes up. And it's in that place when we go help people in Dubai and Australia and people all over the world, it's helping to understand what spiritually, emotionally, and mentally is out of balance that has caused a disruption in the physical body. The physical body has its own wisdom. It knows how to heal itself, just like the Bear Nation. It knows, but it has to be given the right template. And when we go into these trances and help to diagnose people and talk about what's out of balance, we don't want to change a thread. All these threads that have created through our lifetimes, this tapestry of who we are, this tapestry only needs some fine tuning. Some places it's too loose, some places it's too tight. So when the wind comes like the bamboo, it doesn't handle the flow and the fluidity as well. So it's about tightening where it's too loose and loosening where it's too tight, because every single thread is critical. It makes us who we are in this moment. And the tapestry continues to be woven day by day by day with new experiences and new awarenesses. And the tapestry continues to glow and change as we change. And we came in a certain way, but we are meant to come here to grow and understand. It's like the oyster. It has to have sand and grit in it to create it, to exercise the enzyme inside to secrete the first layer of the pearl. And then it has more sand and grit to create the second layer of the pearl, and then more sand and grit. And so our life is about sand and grit and creating the magnificence of the layer of pearl with each experience. If we can look at each experience that way, we can learn how to heal our bodies. We can learn how to heal our spirits. We can learn how to heal our mind and our stories that keep us locked in a script that we keep replaying but changing the players. There's all different ways to work individually with people, doing deep emotional therapeutic work, somatic work, all kinds of work. I mean, we're a psychologist by trade, but we have only been doing with spirit work 30 years, and it's working faster and changing people on a bigger level because it's bigger than what we can even imagine. And when we do the group work and we do hands-on healing, we can have 28 people in a room and everyone is vibrating at a place where spirit gives us the energy, the frequency for that body who's in the middle of the circle, and it becomes like a human singing bowl with tones and frequencies to help that body without any words being spoken, so there's complete privacy. And that person in the middle has colors aimed at certain organs because we can scan and see. And people have profound experiences where they feel they have releases of things that they never knew were keeping them from being able to connect to spirit or to themselves even. So these are all things, when you talked about the blueprint, that made us say, oh, we should talk about that because it's our blueprint. And our blueprint has been given to us with every divine intervention and help on our path to guide us in different ways. And it's special blueprint. And each one of us is special and unique. Yeah. Creation wants to be entertained. They don't want two of any of us. We each have something significant to add. Each one of us has an essence that is so pure. And it's about, like the snake, letting go of the skins letting go of the stories,
Mhm.
letting go of some of those experiences, no matter how harsh or painful they might have been, but constantly cleaning out so that spirit can come through clearly right into that fifth chamber of our hearts, that we can just beam, absolutely beam.
That's
And
right.
beam from this place, on this human place, to other galaxies, to other places on this country. Just because we sit here in this moment in a body, we can leave this body at any moment and travel to another place to help share and to help heal and to help pray and to help give hope to those where there isn't any. So
Yeah.
thank you, Todd, for
This is fun.
saying that.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it. So, I'm digging the divine, right?
Yeah, how
That's
could we
right.
not?
That's right, man. It's there's a reason to the rhyme. I'm gonna start rhyming now. I was just sitting here, and it's so amazing this year how information is being shared by all of us, how fast it's moving, and telepathy is expanding, and activations. And I say this all the time on the show. The highest level of activations, channelings, and downloads that we can experience is when two humans, two gods, goddesses in the flesh or more, two or more gather. I mean, this is the real deal. All of our aspects informing us, our ancestors, all the kingdoms have given us messages to get us to a point of awareness. But what do we do with it now? If you ask me, people have been talking about voting. Okay. You know what, to me, where the real vote is? Right here. Right here. That's right. Right here. Yes. I thank you for the correction. It's here. It's in the universe. It's in your thoughts and actions and words. It's walking in alignment in those three capacities. It's serving self, others, and the collective all equally with
At the
each
same
thought.
time.
That's right. With each
And that's
thought.
why it's the we. If we keep thinking in the we don't forget that we're not connected to anything. We're all connected to everything all the time.
That's right.
All the time.
That's right. And we think, this is the great mystery of this whole realm, that we all had a hand in creating with Creator. Okay. We set this up for us.
Yes, we chose to incarnate and be part of this. Absolutely.
That's right. So we includes every single thing. There is no them.
Yep, that's correct.
Look at the way we set this thing up. We set it up so well that we created such division that the last place we would think it's coming from is from ourselves. I still say, if you want to expand and you want to keep things simple, pull up the things and the people and the places and the events, past, present, and so on, that make you the most uncomfortable. And then go into that space, into that holy trinity, where it's you, that energy, and the universe. And you say, help me find the central point here. I mean, I know this goes against the typical, we gotta march, we gotta protest, we gotta boycott, we gotta mobilize. Yes, maybe so. But if we don't take personal responsibility, we've got no one to point a finger at but ourselves. And that includes with your mother-in-law. That includes with whatever you oppose or you think opposes you. I mean, this is what it's all about. The universe is oneness, and there is no in between. There's no in between at all. And if you think it stops at our fellow brothers and sisters, it doesn't. It's everything. I watched The Last of the Mohicans about a week ago. I hadn't seen this movie in 30 years. And of all the scenes that stood out to me, that how you watch a movie and you see it again and you catch something you didn't get the first time. But of all the scenes that were in that movie that struck me the most was when they went hunting and they brought down an elk. But it was the way they approached the elk. The three men approached the elk, and it was like they were walking up to Jesus or to Buddha. or to the altar of the grandfather. You know, they were walking up to in reverence. They were speaking to this incredible creature. I mean, it was so vivid and it was so real and raw.
Because they were asking it to give up its life for
Yes.
them.
Yes.
And they knew what a big ask that was.
Yeah.
And that it's so that they could keep going. They needed that sacrifice, but they understood that it was a sacrifice, that they were taking a living being, and that it was not a small thing to ask.
That's right.
Just like all the sacred trees, the standstill people that have been burning to wake us up on the West Coast, in Colorado, in New Hampshire, in the Amazon, all these sacred beings that are the lungs of the earth, trying to help us understand that we are all connected. Just like the pandemic, it's trying to help us learn that we are all connected. Mm-hmm. It's not wearing the masks to protect me. I'm wearing a mask to protect everyone else. Because when I go back and forth to the res, I don't want to bring anything to them that's not helpful. It's about taking care of each other, whether you believe in masks or not. It's how do we take care of everyone?
Mm-hmm.
And not separate and think that just taking care of me.
Yeah.
It's us. It's us. It's all.
It's the new self-serving. There's a self-serving in, let's call it the 3D, and there's a self-serving in the higher dimensional experience that we're creating. And that is that triad of service to self, service to others, service to the collective, all being one and the same. You know, the math is different. The math on the old earth was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The math on the new earth, it's a trinity.
Yeah.
It's the age of the trinity. So a 1 is actually a 3.
Yeah.
This is the 3, 6, 9 that Tesla talks about.
Uh-huh.
You know, this is the vibration and the frequency and the resonation of the universe. This is where it all starts to happen. This is true oneness. This is the expansion. This is, you know, my wife is a tremendous channel, and she's been for months viewing the new flower of life, the new grid on the earth, and it's all made up of triangles.
And there's
Isn't that amazing?
And there's all spirit lights everywhere among the triangles. They're like translucent, but they're also milky, like a milky white. It's like opalescence. It's incredible to watch. But we also have to remember that there's also other galaxies that are also here. They're here and they're helping. It's not like we're separate from other places, like we have anything special in terms of our knowledge. There have been ancients from other galaxies here from long ago.
Yeah, it was us, you know. But that's a good point too. And here we go again. You know, I often look at the Earth since I've been reawakened in the last 9 years. I used to spend a lot of time walking in nature, and I would look at everything and communicate with everything. I think, you know, when we get to the end of this thing, I wouldn't be surprised if the human is the low one on the totem pole. Like everything else is a higher intelligence as us, and they're waiting for us, and we think it's the galactics and all that. That's partially a joke, and it's partially going back to what I said before. It's all right in front of us. Yeah. The stars are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. We've had galactics, and we've talked about it on the show. We've had them come into our bedroom and appear in translucent form.
Mm-hmm.
But we are not inferior. We are not lesser than. We are made in the image, and on the same, you know, on the same frequency of that comment. We are affecting every single timeline and dimension, every ancestor, every descendant. They are learning as much from us as we have learned from them. This is the part where they live from a cosmic sense vicariously through us. We are the boots on the ground. We are in the physical. Mm-hmm. This is a huge proposition. This could be the most expansive proposition that the multiverses has ever done up to this point. we're taking all of our higher sensitivity skills and abilities, Akashic, and the experience we've had, and we're putting it in these bodies. Why do you think our bodies are giving us fits this year? Why do you think our bodies are screaming at us this year? Eat this, don't eat that. Go work out, get rid of this bad habit. This is a consciousness. This physical body is the same material as the galactic aspects that walked into my body to tell me I'm integrating with you.
Well, and that's why the frequencies, as our frequencies change, people will find that they can't tolerate certain foods anymore because the frequency of the food no longer matches the frequency of your body. So you'll find that you'll need to change diets. You'll need to do different things in that our bodies are changing moment by moment. When we scan someone long distance and get a picture that's a week old, they've already changed 1,000 times since then.
Yeah.
But it just helps us locate them in space, like if they're in Dubai or Australia or some other country. So it's not only the individual work and the group work that happens simultaneously all the time. Like even on this day, the vibration of this earth is changing second by second by second by hopes and dreams. And we all have to embrace everyone with different thinking, different belief systems, because the bottom line is we all want the same thing. There's just, some of us have an understanding that there's lack, and some of us have understanding that there's more than enough abundance. And it's just being able to talk in that way, to share that no one has to lose anything. There's more than enough. Grandmother has been here for millenniums, giving limitlessly her love. We can be that. We are that. There is no separation from that. And so it is our responsibility, if we chose to incarnate at this time, to raise the vibration of this planet to the best place it can be and beyond, so that the learning and the expansion can continue. We are, period. No one can control our minds. No one can control our thoughts. No one can control our actions. No one can control and make you be anything other than who you are inside. But it has to be a voluntary willingness to look and see where are we stuck? Where are we not seeing ourselves? Where is our denial? And where is the part of us that wants to believe a certain story and continue that legacy rather than
cognitive dissonance,
creating a new story and a new opening so that we don't have to be limited. I mean, there's so much that we are capable of that we don't even, that we're only, when we use the mind, we're only using like 5% of what's really possible. That's why from the heart, it's limitless, from that fifth chamber of the heart. That is where unconditional love, those who have loved you unconditionally and those who you have loved unconditionally reside. And it's from that heart mind that we go out into the world.
Yeah, and like you said, no one or thing has power over you unless you give that power over, which is what we all did. And it was a pattern that affected every single moment of our existence virtually. So why not pick ourselves? I mean, it's like the universe came knocking on the door and said, hey, you want to flip this thing? Where's the last place? Remember that it's a Native American anecdote or story about where would the creator hide, and they go through the whole, the animal can in themselves.
It's right here. All the
this
time.
is and so this is like
all the time.
Why not pick ourselves? Why not buy into that narrative, if you want to put it that way, or that concept? Why not do that? Because you know why? Okay, here's another thing I'm going to ask David Icke, because I think I'll get an interesting answer. Why isn't it that one leader on the world stage, one of these people that we've given our power over to and our hopes over to, why hasn't one stepped forward and talked about the star family oral histories throughout the indigenous and the natives? Why hasn't one of them said, we have a secret space program and we think you're too stupid, so we didn't want to tell you about it? You know what? Why won't somebody deal with this straight? Why is somebody treating us like little children? Why? Because it's all an energetic mind game. And I don't even think the people that are the cogs in the wheel that are functioning within that machine even know what they're doing. This is a deep, 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 deep energetic experience. And it's like the Wizard of Oz, click your heels. It's a power, the power of belief. And it's not belief like in a 3D sense. It's an action. It's an alignment of thought, words, and actions. It's a embodiment and taking ownership. I am not separate. Show me a child, a progeny of a species that isn't the same thing that created it, in the universe. You don't have a giraffe that's birthing a hippo, it births a giraffe. I mean, there is a pattern. You can call it the flower of life, but we're taking it down to the most minute level. And that is so mind-blowing. That is so mind-blowing that we're actually integrating the most further point of oneness to the most further point of division and separation in a thick, dense realm, physical and non-physical, masculine and feminine, all these things, all these points of contention and separation and division, and we're bringing it to the center. And that's unstoppable. And you're right. I want to say one last thing. You're right. You're right. Everyone has a huge team behind them, and they're just standing there around you. That's the truth. They're standing right here.
Absolutely.
But you know what? They follow the universal law. We cannot do for others what they can do for themselves. Creation is responsible. Creation takes ownership. In other words, all you got to do is ask.
And it's really about co-creation. It's about, they're all around us waiting, but they're waiting for us also to create an intention.
Yeah.
And then when we create the intention, they say, okay, they're clear. They have the clarity. Let's meet them. And then we create another intention and they meet us here. When we start, we like to use an example when we're working with groups about telling people to try to sit. Just try to sit in your chair. Well, if you keep trying to sit, you never get anywhere. You're in limbo. You're in the middle of the air. You either have to be sitting or you have to be standing. And when the spirits don't feel your intention is clear, when they don't feel that where there's self-doubt or where there's not sureness and it's not got rootedness, then they just sit and hang and wait because they don't want to put that out in the universe. They want clarity. They want crispness. They want awareness. They want vision. And they're just waiting to help. But we have to get empty like a hollow bone so that they can come through us so quickly. You can't imagine how fast the miracles. When we just did our prayer circle last week, we do them every Thursday morning, and you're all welcome to join by signing up for our newsletter. We said miracles were coming, big miracles. And in one day, we had 4 miracles come before us in our own life. That was just, and it wasn't for us personally. It was for us and the collective. And it's just about getting out of the way and getting empty so they can come through us without all these splinters in the bone of the parts of us that we haven't emptied out, the parts of us we haven't worked out. So it's really owning that we are creation. We are the universe at all times, at every moment. Whatever the language is that you use in your tradition, God, Yahweh, Wakatanka, great mystery, we are the universe at all times with every breath. Every breath. Every breath.
Yeah.
So how do we clean all that breath? How do we clean what's inside of us? How do we create that vibration that will allow everything to open with us so that we can move with strong roots like the bamboo, but also bend with the winds of change, because that helps to create the change in the world.
Yeah. Like, if we often think that it's, and have been raised to believe, let's use, like, say, the central sun. Like, there's a center of the universe out there, and we're out in the peripheral. There's a different math that the human mind on its own, even it can't comprehend yet. But my point is, it's here. As much as it's there, it's here. And here's the thing. If in the core of my existence, in those circles closest to me, I'm in a relationship that I've compromised myself and I won't get out of it. I'm in a job that hurts my soul and I won't get out of it. Why am I defying my essence? Because of these programs? I'm an eternal soul. What are you going to do to me? You're going to kill me? I'm going to come right back. Okay? So what the hell are we waiting for? But the government's not going to do it for you. And for me, no one's going to do it for us.
No, we have to do it ourselves.
It's our job. And how do you do it? You start from the circles closest to you. And I don't care if you got to go on the streets for 2 years like I did. I don't care how you choose to do it. One thing that's become very obvious in 2020, when you start taking steps forward in alignment with your true essence, your natural nature, your gifts, your higher sensitivities,
right relationship.
That's right. What happens? You get instant manifestation, just like the 4 miracles that you got the other day. And guess what? This is our natural nature. This is how it works. This is how it works. And this will probably be the biggest challenge we have, is getting used to it, because we've been so separated from ourselves for so long.
And it's also about, a lot of us think we're here and we're only surviving. It's about the sense that we have the right to thrive and that we deserve the miracles, that these can happen. It's like last night we went to bed, we didn't have enough trucks. One truck driver couldn't drive a truck. We need to get these 275-gallon totes out to the reservation or out to Alamosa, because next weekend the spirits say is going to be snow again. And so these people need water. They don't have water to wash their hands or to drink. And we prayed overnight, and someone sent out an email, and I said, please help that email reach someone whose heart will be touched for the need of the people. And we got a contact at 7:00 this morning. We have a flatbed truck. We'll borrow that person's trailer. And we wrote back, we talked with them. We said, we'll pay for your gas. They said, no money for gas. We want to do this. We want to help the people. We have the means. This is our way of giving back. And this couple was and they said, could we hold on to the trailer for a couple of days and go camping so we could be close to the earth? And we said, absolutely, as long as you don't stay on the res, because the pandemic is on lockdown. But all they wanted to do was help. And we put out a call for blankets, and we have blankets mounting up on our porch and on our driveway just since yesterday. And there's 3 drop-offs. You put it out there and you ask from the place of your heart, help us to help everyone.
Yeah. By
giving, we receive just as much as we give. And it's that reciprocity. That's the circle of life.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. You can't make this shift up.
No.
You can't. And this is it. I always struggled with that, because I'd be like, okay, why? What's the point? That's why I struggle a little bit with some of the Far Eastern philosophies, because it's like nothing matters. Nothing's real. And I'm like, BS to that. Like, we are 99% conscious in this form. We know we're multidimensional. We know we go in a dream state. We know there's a different math. We know that
we can dream waking up, staying up. Constantly.
Yeah. But why are we conscious here? Why is it the majority of the time here? And it seems like we only have 1% of our multidimensionality available, right? Like you said, 5% of the brain. Well, that must mean something. That must mean that this is a pretty special mission. This is a pretty special place. We're a very special species. We're a collective. We have this function, in the body, in the full body of it all. And I believe we're really pushing the envelope, and I really believe that we're on the cusp of expanding in a huge way. And I think it could even happen this year. And here's where I'm going with it. When you prayed, when you pulled together these resources, and I'm talking energetic resources of people, an alignment of emotionally infused appeal, of sovereignty and of equality and of community and of compassion.
And in right relationship.
That's right. And there's an instant manifestation, reciprocity that's occurring more frequently and more broadly as the days go by. And I believe this type of miracle frequency that you're describing, which can be seen many, many different ways and is happening many different ways, cannot be denied. I don't care if it's not on the mainstream media. I don't care if it's not on the alt news, because it's not. They want to talk about disclosure issues and conspiracy issues. I want to talk about the I am soul. I want to talk about the real power in this world. And I believe we'll become mainstream before too long, because it'll be irrefutable. It's like somebody turned on a fire hose. You can't stop it.
Well, we want to give you an example of that. We did a group work where we had these human singing bowls with singing different tones based on the spirits for this person who was in the middle. She was in a wheelchair. The doctors, she had been in a wheelchair for 10 years, and the doctors had told her, that's it, you're in the wheelchair. And while people were toning, and it's exhausting toning for a long time, like for an hour, that takes a lot of work. And the people in the outer circle are getting the same healings as the people inside the circle. So it's not like there's a separation. And they were aiming certain colors at certain organs for her. And actually her testimonial is on our website. Her name was Jo, so I can say that, because that's how she signed it. And she fell out of her chair. And because it was so much to take in that much love and that much vibration, that her body didn't know exactly how to receive it all. And as it was stopping, where she normally would have asked someone to help her, she was able to use her own hands for the first time in 10 years and pull herself up into her chair. And she has written us and kept us apprised of the years of changing. And she's walking, and she's changed her cancer, and all from 7 people focusing all their love and attention and vibration on asking for her healing, to help support her create her own healing, supporting her in creating that. That's how big and that's how miraculous vibration can be when we work together to support the essence of what someone needs, to help give them the power within themselves and to work collectively and reciprocally.
Conscious creation, conscious manifestation. Creation. So think about it. Look, one of the things we all came to was, look, we've been creating this the whole time. We've been unconscious creators. So by the same token, because I get really frustrated with the moaning and the griping and the complaining and the blaming and the shaming. None of us are clean. The only way to get clean is to practice what you preach, walk the talk, bring that alignment into your words, thoughts, and actions. Because this is a quantum field now.
Absolutely.
So if I'm thinking that you are different than me,
then we're in trouble.
I'm creating separation.
Absolutely.
Now, you might say, well, I'm not going to do it because they're not going to do it. Well, guess what? You influence them. It's no different than this sister in the wheelchair with seven of the monad around her, 7 soul family around her. They set the intention, but guess who made it happen? She did. She did. If she didn't believe in you, if she didn't feel and resonate and align with your frequency.
If she didn't believe in creation, not me. It's not me, it's creation, right?
And but you're the face of creation.
We're just a manifestation.
So it's everything external is creation. And everything external is my twin flame. This is how it works. So am I going to wait for that to give me what I think I'm supposed to get? This is a mutual participation. This is an infinity symbol. This is an equality. Okay. And I guess what I'm trying to say is guard your thoughts. Be careful what you're thinking about. Be
The
careful
spirits
what
take
you're
things very
sending.
literally.
That's right. People say words are spells. Thoughts are spells. Thoughts are more powerful than
Yes.
words. How many times has somebody, you know, we're all sensitives here. You know, somebody walks in the room and says one thing, and you know they're thinking another.
And when we say something that shouldn't have come out of our mouth, we make that mistake. We say cancel clear.
I do it.
Cancel
I do it all
clear.
the time. I talk to myself all day. I'll control delete. I do it all day long. But don't do that. I just dip in for a minute and I'll no, don't go there. But you know what? Here's another thing. I really believe we've done a great job. I really do. We've had enough channelers and guests on this show that are connected, that have said the universe is on the edge of its seat. The universe is amazed at how fast we've come. They don't even know where we're going to go from here. We're now leading the way. This is what's happening. It's a matter of going into this field of potential and maximizing it, you know, from the heart. And this is exciting to me because there's already people like the stories that you've told defying conventional wisdom. They're defying conventional wisdom. And this time it won't be stopped. You know, this isn't the 13 and 1400s where they were burning women, you know, and this isn't other points of where the human soul was rising and was suppressed, like maybe the late 60s. This is the time. This is 2020. I want to ask you about this too, in terms of what your understanding is, both from oral history and just from your own intuition. How big, and I'm not caught up in dates and all that, but there's a bit of a kind of a signpost pattern to our evolution, markers. How big do you think, or how small do you think, or how relevant or irrelevant is December 21st, 2020?
It's very big. It's going to shift us into it's going to be a springboard to shifting into a higher frequency paradigm, which will take us to 2025, which will add up to 9, which will be part of the changing of life as we know it, and the changing. 9 is the number of beginnings and endings. And so December 21st is going to be very big this year. And everything from the Star Nation people and beyond, and prophecies that are being seen in the sweat lodges are showing that we are really on the cusp of some very big, huge changes, not only within ourselves, cellular changes, cellular. It starts here. And then it vibrates out, cellularly changing everywhere else. Remember, we are fashioned very similar to the standstill nation, the tree nation, right? We have roots through our feet into Grandmother Earth. We have arms that go out. This right arm does the giving and the left arm does the receiving, and their arms go out to be the lungs. We create the elixir from the earth, from creation, and it goes up this way and then comes down and cleans us. And so this is a big chance. Yeah. We have a big opportunity right now.
Yes, that's right. I want to give you before we get out of here, first of all, I want to thank you very much.
I'd also like to do a closing prayer, because you can't open and not send them home.
No, that's what I was leading. That's what I was leading up to. That's what I'm leading up to. So I typically give, before we get out the door, our beloved sibling, whoever's here, a few minutes to do whatever they want to do. But I just wanted to say before that, I just want to say, publicly that I'm very thrilled to have spent time with you and
I'm blessed.
To got acquainted with you. I look forward to further collaborations with you and your soul family, those who you collaborate with. I can feel the energy of your heart, and I just want to say thank you. But so anything you want to do, a prayer, if you want to sing and dance for us, if you want to play the drum, it's all up to you. But the floor is yours.
Okay. So I do want to let people know how to reach us. Our email is Dr. Michael, 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 at drmariamichael.com. Our website is www.drmariamichael.com. We're accepting donations to help those who are less privileged than us on the reservations. And if you want to get involved in anything that we do, there's updates all the time on what we are doing, other interviews, and we will be blessed, beyond blessed, to have Todd's interview on there as well. We would like to do a closing prayer, but we'd also like to do something very special, which we don't do usually in public, but the spirits are asking us to do it. And it's a song that is traditionally sung at Sundance, and it's the only song we're allowed to sing in public. And it's a song during the High Holy ceremony where we offer ourselves up in service for whatever prayer it is that we want. And so they're saying that there's enough people listening at this time on your show that want want to offer themselves and their fifth chamber and their heart so that we can create the world we can dream big. We can create this. There's nothing stopping us. And so we would like to say the prayer and then go into that drum. I'm going to cover it with a cloth so that it doesn't reverberate too much in terms of the communication with the recording. I don't know. That's what I've been told in the past. So, and while we're singing that, we'd like you to also pray for all those spirits who are leaving at this time.
Yes.
And for all those families that are in mourning and all those beings that are suffering, that they may know that they are not alone and that they can go over to the Milky Way, to the Star Nation people, and that their paths will be guided. And this song is for each one of you to pray for yourselves as well, to offer yourself up for whatever it is you need, to give yourself over to Spirit, Universe, God, whatever it is that you call it, so that we can all become one sacred family of all living beings.
Yes.
Is that acceptable for you, Todd?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Before you start, can you just give me your website again? I want to put it up.
Sure. It's www.drdrmaria, Maria, Michael, Michael.com.
Well, that's easy.
And people can get in touch with us that way. And there's an email on there. You can sign up if you want the weekly newsletter. It used to be once a month, but since we've been praying since March, prayers are open to everyone. There is a password protect because often we're doing singing for those who are passing. And so we don't want it appropriated, if that makes any understanding.
Yes.
We want people of like mind. And
Yes.
so we're careful who comes in. But anyone that's on this program is welcome to sign up. And Todd, we would be honored and humbled to be with you again. Truly.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would love to do that. Yes.
Okay, so we're going to pray for the closing prayer. Maybe we'll, let's do let me just hear they're talking to us. Give us a second. No, they're asking us actually to do the song first and then the closing prayer.
Okay.
Okay. Again, this is a traditional song, so we ask if you have this recording to please not share it. This is sacred space. Todd, it'll be on Todd's, but you need to understand this is very rare that this is ever done. So, but it's also about you offering yourself so that you can be used as a channel for the change that's needed within you, around you, and all around the globe and all around the galaxies.
Yeah.
Well, hey, oh, hey, well, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, well, hey, oh, hey, well, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, well, hey, oh, hey, well, hey, oh, wachi Elohe. Chanu paki leo ha oye wa Eloyo he. Wakatanka oshe malai Elohe. Makakijelo ani wachi Elohe. Chanu paki leo ha oye wa Eloyo he. Wakatanka oshe malai Elohe. Makakishelo ani wachi Elohe. Chanu paki leo ha oye wa Eloyo he. Chanu paki leo ha oye wa Eloyo hey ho. Donkashila unshi, grandfathers, grandmothers. We say Wapilatanka, thank you for helping all those who need to pass at this time, and pray for their families who are in mourning, wherever they are in the world. We ask special prayers for each and every one of us who are listening in this moment, that you can help us to have the clarity and the presence and the heart and the compassion to understand that we are one sacred family of all living beings, that every thought, every action, everything that we are and do is connected to everything else, and that we must be aware and heartfelt to understand that there is no separation from you. You live within every living being. You live within the stone nation. You live within the sacred fire that's in us, that grows as we grow. We ask Donkashalo Unchi, grandfather, grandmothers, Unchi Maka, grandmother Earth, Mini Wichoni. We say thank you to the creepy crawlers, to the ones that swim in the water, to the four-leggeds, to the standstill nation that have been sacrificing themselves in the fires so that we can wake up, to the winds and air and light. We ask prayers also for the winged ones who can see far beyond what we can see down here as two-leggeds connected to the earth. We ask for guidance. We ask for all our helpers and all of your helpers to join together in a council gathering of ancestors so that we can all work together from a place of love, to work together from a place of wholeness, to work together from a place of abundance, to work together from a place of
awakeness. Help us to wake up, each and every one of us, first individually, and then as we wake up, we can keep helping wake up the collective. Please help us to create the ascension and the light that is needed on this planet so that we may live together in peace and love and prayer and harmony. We ask Donkashala Unshi, grandfathers, grandmothers, we ask that you'll bless each and every one of us and give us another day to be alive. Give us another day to walk our talk, to be of purpose, to be of usefulness in this planet. We ask that you walk on the right side of us as we give out into the world. We ask that you walk on our left so that we may learn how to receive in a better way. We ask that you walk behind us when we are strong and we have clarity and we can see the paths in front of us. We ask that you be the wind beneath our wings. And when we are not clear, when we are confused, when we feel lost and we are disconnected from spirit, we ask that you walk in front of us so that we may have more clarity and can see the paths more clearly. And when you feel that we are back in right relationship with ourselves and with the center of creation and with the fire center that is in every living being, that's the gift from you, that light, then we ask that you let us walk ahead. And when there are times that we are too tired, Tonkashla Unshi, grandmothers, grandfathers, we ask that you pick us up and carry us. Help fill Mini Wichoni, the sacred water. Help our fountains be full. Help them be regenerated so that people can, when they become dry, so that when we are placed down, when you feel that we are filled with your love and your regenerative energy, place us down again so that we can walk. Bless each step of our path, every step that is placed on Grandmother Earth, so that our fountains can invite those to come and drink, so that we can share that limitless water flow that comes from Grandmother Earth and comes from creation and replenishes whenever it's taken. Help us to be more than what we are in this moment. Help our essence to be clear, to be kind, to be compassionate, to have integrity, to have honor, and to respect each other in all ways, and to remember that we are one sacred family of all living beings. Help us to remember that so that we can stand up tall and proud and know that we are never alone. Never, never alone. We just have to look at a plant or a flower or a butterfly. We are all part of the same energetic frequency. But we all have different reasons for being here. But we are one family. Help us to remember that. We thank you on this day for coming. We thank you for being a part of this. We thank you for this opportunity to share with Todd and all of his spirit helpers and with Leilani's as well. And we really ask that you bless all those who may be suffering at this time, to lift them up. To lift them up and help them know how to help themselves and to help them walk on their path and to continue in a good way to the other side. Aho, mitakiase.
Aho.
Aho.
And so it is, beloved, beautiful sister. It's a pleasure to have connected with you, and I look forward to connecting with you again and again and again. Thank you for your devotion and your love and your service. And yes.
Thank you for who you are, for making the time and space for us to be here on this day.
Yes.
We are
absolutely.
very grateful.
Yeah, me too. Big ditto, big love.
Big little, big love.
Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you. I love you.